$85 million to victims of the Holocaust. When you think about it, that generation is probably gone. But when you look up the news article, it says it's not just for their generations, it's for the generations after. And that's the
black women got $10 billion from Goldman Sachs to go and start businesses.
That's cap, because here's what would have been better. Here's what would have been better.
I'm just saying they got it. Not that it was good. I think it was horrible that they gave it to black women because they don't do anything for black men.
Well, before we get to that, because I know how you feel about the black woman.
Yeah, you know it's coming, baby. You know it's coming.
We'll get to that in a second. So now, but what I wanted to point out though, when World War, and because you brought up the Jewish thing, which I think I mentioned it as well, I just want to highlight something in which goes back to this subject of who's done more harm. The earth knew that what the Germans did to Jewish people was horrible. So much so that they divided a land called Palestine in half. Why? So that they didn't have to sit with who was oppressing them, so that they can be free. And then they fund them to this day. They reverence the Holocaust to this day. When black people got freed from slavery, they gave them nothing that you can say is retribution for the irreparable damage of uprooting a people from one continent, bringing them to another continent, stripping them. The Jewish people never lost their identity. Blacks lost their identity, their name, their race, their creed, and everything. And still, without reparations, in spite of it all, when the white man was going through his Great Depression, that's when we built. The church was one of the major cornerstones in the black community during what the white man called his Great Depression. Those cities I talk about, Seneca Village. Seneca Village was a village in Central Park that when they just wanted to expand it, they just displaced all the people out of Seneca Village so they can expand a park. And black people were just powerless to fight against it. Now, one thing I agree with you on, when you say our fathers or our mothers didn't teach us the parts of history that would allow us to not make the same mistakes, that's a part of the fear of the white man. After Tulsa, Oklahoma, you said it got destroyed. You know what they did after Tulsa, Oklahoma got destroyed? They integrated it, which is what the white man wanted. And once you integrate, you lose everything. Once we integrated education, that's one thing we agree on. Integration was horrible because when you integrate, it led to more oppression. Remember, I said I was going to tell you how Martin Luther King got messed up. The streets I'm talking about when I made the joke about the streets. And education, Little Rock 9, if anybody's not familiar with Little Rock 9 was when they took 9 black kids, brought them down to Arkansas. That's that photo where they got Jerry Jones in it because he's in that picture with them with the kids, because he's a part of the racist crowd that's ready to assault these 9 black children.
Yeah.
Right. So now as he's forcing them, as our people are forcing them thinking integration is going to work, I can play you a video of the woman saying that they asked her, what was her experience? She said, well, I would have been more nicer to my brother and sister if I wouldn't have went to that school, because they were oppressing her at that school. Talk about other kids was oppressing her at that school. When she came home, she took that oppression because she couldn't fight against them. So now she fights against her own. Now that's just one little girl. Now imagine the little girls, the boys, the grown men that get pulled over by the police for crimes that they didn't commit, get searched, XYZ. Now they're getting oppressed, and then now they come back into their neighborhood. That's why we become oppressive to each other, because of the oppression that we're getting from this enemy that we call the so-called white man. So that plays a part on this subject of why when you see us being so violent to each other, it's because of the violence that we have been getting from the white man since we've been here. And just because we get a little cookie, like Robert De Niro said in that movie with Cuba Gooding when he called him Little Cookie, just because we get a little cookie or a little trinket, the Bible says a gift destroys the heart. So just because we get a little gift, it doesn't mask the hundreds of years of oppression that we've never been able to get over. And I'll just say one more thing and I'll give it to you. Even genetically, when they genetically looked at our DNA, and not just ours. They looked at Jewish people's DNA too. When they looked at our DNA, traces of the effects of slavery is actually embedded into our DNA. I'll yield with that because I don't want to take up too much time.
No, let me tell y'all something. Hey, listen, I may not agree with the brother's premise. We're different, but I want y'all to be able to see something. And this is something I always preach, and I'm not gonna not put it out there again. You have two black men right here, and we're on the opposite sides of something. But look how respectful we're carrying it. We don't have a clock nor a moderator. And each of us is saying, okay, I got my point across. It's your turn to go. And it's beautiful because when they say we can't do this,
right,
we need to be able to say, oh, yes, we can.
Well said, because brothers were saying, I'm going to need a moderator. I said, no, I don't think we need no moderator. I think we're going to be straight.
Right. Respect is respect. And the way you coming at me, you coming with respect, and you coming with, let me back up what I'm saying. And that's all you want when you're having a discussion with somebody. Again, whether you agree with them or not. And let me just say this, when you were talking about the Jews, because I don't want to defeat your argument right now at the beginning of the show, but I'm going to go ahead and have to defeat your argument right here to get it straight. I'm going to go ahead and defeat you right now. We're going to have to just pull out the belt right now.
Yeah,
but let me say this. You said that people like me are hurting the black folks and setting them back. I'm black. Black folks hurt more than whites. 2, you said that once we came over here, white folks treated us real bad to the point of where it's in our DNA. How did we get over here? Who sold us? Who sent us? So if we put us in that position, because like you said, if I got a son and the reason my son is on death row right now, they get ready to electrocute him and they say, well, what happened to your boy when you were little? Well, my dad sent me off to these people who told him straight up, we gonna whoop your ass, but he needed some Crown Royal. So he took the Crown Royal and sent me over here. And now he's sitting out there in the gallery talking about my son, my son. It is your fault, sir. You need to be in this chair. You did this to this man. And what we need to do is be able to point out that. So that's why I said I was going to defeat your argument. If we just went back to who sold who, we got to say we sold ourselves into slavery. So if slavery was that bad, it was our fault that we got put around them white people, and we knew them white people was bad. Not only did we know them white people was bad, but the niggas who sold us could have said, oh my God, look at what they doing in the blacks over there. We gonna go over there and fight and get them back, because that ain't right. They didn't do that either. They ain't sitting now ship over here to bring us back. They ain't sitting now gun over here, now militia. They ain't sitting Hamas. They ain't sitting the Boko Haram. They didn't sit nobody over here. They just sit over there and said, oh, wait a minute. Seems like y'all went over there and made a good time. We gonna try to go too. We gonna get a visa and go over there. We gonna try to come from Nigeria. We gonna try to come from Ghana. We gonna try to come from every one of these places you were sold from, just because it seems like y'all doing better over there than we doing over here. Now that's a shame. Let me go to the Jews. You said the Jews, they didn't lose their history. Cool. Under the threat of death, you didn't lose their history. But when they wanted to integrate, they would change their names. There was many Jews who said they didn't know they were Jews because their parents were trying to make sure that they didn't grow up Jewish, so they didn't have the Jewish problems. There were many Jews who would go into each of these places because remember, they didn't have no home and they kept getting kicked out of homes. It was like a bad penny. They just kept turning up places and people didn't want them. But they still sat there and didn't do what? What you told us that blacks did, because they were oppressed, that they turned against each other. Well, Jews didn't turn against each other. That oppression, because you remember, was 2 things that pressure will do. It will burst pipes and it will make diamonds. Pressure on the Jews made a diamond because they went inward. They got closer together. They said, since everybody against us, let's form Voltron and get them. Black folks.
Yeah, nah, he got a point there.
Folks said, fuck it, let the lines dissipate. We decided to go ahead and fight each other, and that's a problem because both of us were under pressure. And you can talk about what happened to them, especially in World War II. You can talk about them everywhere they went. They got kicked out. They got their money stole from them by the Russians. And they started all of that crap with the Bolsheviks, then got kicked out. They got kicked out of Poland. They get kicked out of everywhere they go. Now that is a history
that
sucks. So what they did was they would come over, when they came to America, they started to intermingle, marry white people, hide who they were. There was even a time in which they used to get rhinoplasty so you couldn't tell that they were Jew by their nose. So they could then subvert the government, subvert everything. They made Hollywood because the Jews were kicked out of New York.
Look. Instead of listening to the argument, this dude is a bozo. They were forced to literally fight each other to the death during slavery. I mean, dude, he's making an argument for Jewish people, bro. What the hell are you talking about?
When they formed the damn plays and all that shit over there, they got this shit stolen from them. So you know what they said? There's land out west, and ain't nobody claiming it. We know that people like watching our movies. We're gonna go out there and make them. And here's what we're gonna do: we're gonna make it difficult for them to get rid of one of us. So we're gonna have 5. You know how they have the 5 families in the gang? You know they did that with the movies, right? They had 5 studio heads, all Jews. Yep. So if you try to get rid of them, you got to get rid of all of them. So it looks like they're fighting with each other, and it looks like they're making movies against each other, but all the studio heads work together. They were smart. We as blacks could have then, could have in the middle, and could have now done the exact same thing, but we're not. We have our Tyler Perry's, we have our Oprah Winfrey. We got all these people who got all this power and clout, but what happens? We'll turn our own people and ruin their lives, tear them down. Bill Cosby said something that made people pissed off. What? That black folks need to pull up their pants and stop being gangsters and naming their kids stupid shit. That made black folks turn against this man. But it wasn't black folks. Because black men are used to being criticized, and I'm gonna land right here. Black men are used to being criticized. We're being told, we get told you ain't shit, y'all niggas need to take care of your kids. And we've been told we wrong so much, we accept it and go to other men and tell them, yeah, y'all do need to take care of your kids. And we'll be taking care of our kids, but we'll say there needs to be more of them. We'll sit up and say we'll date women with kids because we want to be a mentor. They make us feel bad for wanting to have our own family. You should want to be with a woman with kids. No other race does this. We get talked down to by our women to the point of where the public sees this and expects this. Our women are put in front of us. So what do the men do? They're used to being destroyed. Right now, I saw, and this is what I'm in it. I saw a man by the name of Jonathan Majors. And Jonathan Majors, apparently, it came out today that the white girl he was with is now suing him for money. And I watched in the comment section how many black women, one of them said, that's what y'all get for dating them clear women. But if we call them muddy women, they'd get mad. Now, if that's what you get for dating call a black woman dark skin, why is it that these same black women don't bring up Tory Lanez? Last I checked, he in jail because of a black woman. Mike Tyson, black woman. I can name you way more black men who've had their lives ruined by black women. But then when black women get them a white man, they don't ever talk about clear men, pink dicks. No, they say the reason they got with him is because, well, I tried to find black love. So you cheer when a black woman's with a white man, but you say something stupid like that's what you get for dating a white woman with what's happening to Jonathan Majors, as if it wouldn't have happened with a black woman. We'll tell Chris Brown that. Tell several of black men that it happened with them when they were with black men. There were black women that actually said Kobe Bryant deserved to die because he gave his money to a white woman. And she ain't white, but they don't care. So we have a society as black folks that could be building because the men would build. But remember, the men were building before integration.
Oh my God.
The men had $1 million companies. They were doing it.
Yo, what? I did not.
But
do that.
white ice was colder. And black
did not do
women
that.
wanted the opportunity, like the Loving Case said. He wanted the white man to love them. They don't want us to love them. That's why you and me walking around with hair that look like ours, and they walking around looking with hair that look like Lee Mubai. I yield.
Man, yo, man, you said a lot. You said a lot. So I'm gonna unpack some of the stuff that you said, like going back to the slavery part when you mentioned who sold us to the white man, which it was Africans that sold us to the white man. So now here's where a lot of things that we do wrong, I'm talking about black people, that we do wrong is because we lack an identity. Without having an identity, like you said, the Jewish man, well, excuse me, what I said, which you echoed it when I said they kept their history, they kept it. With black people, we lost it. Like we've been called everything under the sun: black, Negro, Afro-American, as if your Afro makes you who you are. African American, how can you be two continents? So we don't have that identity. So historically, we believe that Africans sold other Africans into slavery. Earlier, you said you like the Bible, so I would like to read a Bible verse to let you know that it was not Africans that sold Africans into slavery, but Africans that sold Israelites into slavery. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 68. This is one of the punishments for our disobedience. It says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto thee. The word Egypt just means bondage. So in this verse, the Lord is saying that we will go into bondage again. It says, there thou shalt see it no more again, and you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. So when people look at slavery, a white man never came into Africa to actually catch the slaves. They just made a deal with the African tribes. And if you know anything historically, when Jerusalem fell in 70 AD, millions of black Jews went into Africa. So the Africans knew exactly who they were selling. They were not selling their own, but they were selling the people that came in as foreigners to their land, which were the Israelites. Harriet Tubman is a good example of that. If you just look up online, when it says Harriet Tubman knew she was an Israelite, her and her family knew they were Israelites. There was always an oral tradition. So it wasn't a father selling his son. It was the cat it was a cat across the street that you said was beating up your son. It was him selling your son instead of like that. So I just want to point that out. The other thing, when you pointed out that when the Jewish man came over here, he was able to blend in and marry the American white woman. Well, of course, whites look like whites. So it ain't that hard for a white person to come over and marry another white person. Now, I don't promote interracial marriage at all. Only my people can marry their own people. I just want to highlight that. Of course,
you ain't willing to do it for the sake of your people. You ain't willing to lay down with a snow bunny for the sake of your people. In the long run, we can integrate and kill them. We can breed them out.
Look at Jonathan Majors. Listen, Jonathan Majors had that white woman chasing him about 7 blocks. She was chasing him about. Listen, Jonathan Majors, he was just got finished training for the damn Rocky movie, and he hauling ass.
But you don't know what he did though. He could have smacked the shit out of her and ran. Like that don't mean nothing. See, a guy like myself, yeah, I'm not your average bear. I'm not your average bear. Oh no. No. Did I fall for that? Did I fall for that? Wow. That is bad. That is bad. Did I fall for that? Did I fall for that? I guess I did. Oh, my bad.
white woman over the phone. He like this on the camera. He just hauling ass from the.
Al Green had a black woman throw some hot ass grits on his chest while he was asleep.
I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that because, and I'm gonna make this statement: ethnicities having internal issues is not a black thing. Right. White women fight. That term "wife beater" came from white men beating the shit out of white women. That's where wife beater comes. That's not a black man. I know we like to wear the white. I love wife beaters, but a black man did not invent the term wife beater. Wife beater came from white men beating white women. That's where the term wife beater came from. So let's not.
They kept it.
Wife beater came from movies where black men were like young black men were in like tees. You dig? Threatening white women. This dude said, no, this dude ain't just say that. Oh, no. Oh, let me get that. They're on too. Bangers. How that thing go? Sega. Sega. Are you fool? Sega. Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah. So now white beaters ain't come from white men beating on it. That phrase came from it came from movies. Niggas was in white tees beating on it. White tank tops. That's what white. Yo, Cat, are you from the East Coast? Like, you sure you from Jersey? Your wife beater is an East Coast term. Like, yo, y'all got it. Whoever used that term got it from the East Coast. When I say East Coast, that's New York and New Jersey. Nobody else. Everybody else is the South. All right. So, yeah, wife beater was our language. We used that a long time ago. I think we seen Ike Turner, somebody beating their wives with a tank top, with an undershirt. Tell you talking about white man. Yo, what the hell? What the cat be just capping?
Black woman throw some hot ass grits on his chest while he was asleep.
I'm gonna get to that because, and I'm gonna make this statement: ethnicities having internal issues is not a black thing. Right. White women fight. That term "wife beater" came from white men beating the shit out of white women. That's where wife beater comes. That's not a black man. I know we like to wear the white. I love wife beaters, but a black man did not invent the term wife beater. Wife beater came from white men beating white women. That's where the term wife beater came from. So let's not.
They kept it gangster. They kept it the patriarchy.
So you applauding the white men beating the white women? You applauding that?
Let me tell you something. I applaud the Patriots for deflating them balls. They won championships. I ain't gonna listen. If you winning, I need to find out how you winning. So I don't get mad at what the Jews doing with Hollywood making black folks look bad. I think black folks need to be able to do the same thing.
So
I do not get mad at the winner.
Wait. So you saying it's okay to beat a woman? Before
I'm telling you, the patriarchy is real, and somehow they kept it together. What did they do to keep it together? I don't know, but I will take notes from them. You said wife beater came from somewhere. Right. Why they white women still love them then if it was so wrong to do? Why they white women still love them?
Okay, so I'll answer that. Because the white woman values the protection that white man brings. And that white woman during that time still had black slaves who was provided by that same white man. That white woman stayed with that white man because together they oppressed black people. We always
something. Yeah. When you put that outfit on right there, you knew you were ready to go to war. They saw you, your friends. I hear them in the background. You got people on you, and I don't. I ain't got nobody that's behind me. It's just me.
I'm at my school. I'm at my school, so my brothers is here with me.
I like it. It sounds good. I like it. Tell them to keep it up. We got a hype man right now. I like that.
So now, because the important part the hidden part of history is that it was just a white man in the slavery. It wasn't. That white woman was more vicious than the white man when it came to pain on black men.
That's why I'm saying you got on that outfit right now. You came and everybody knew when you put that on, you were ready for debating and you were finna kick some ass.
That's right.
You know why they call that a wife beater? Because when that white man put that shirt on, his woman knew it was time to cook. His woman knew it was time.
No, it wasn't time for her to cook. You know what time? It wasn't time for her to cook. It was time to get the slaves to cook. That's
whoever it was, she knew it was going down. So what she did was
I'm only saying that to answer why you said he was able to stay, because together the white man and white woman made sure that they oppressed black people. And I think that's the part that we're missing. When you brought up being millionaires, the other biggest misclaimer is that families weren't together. We were together until integration.
I talk about that all the time.
Yeah, thank you. Black families was always together, even during the time of integration. It's only when integration came, and we didn't even see the play coming. Listen, when it comes to that black woman in 2024, to the black man, I don't know which one is more harder. You have the white man and the white woman and their vices. And then you got the black woman who in some instances can be her pit bull. Be his pit bull. I know Tommy liked that line right there.
Hell yeah.
That the black woman can be the white man's pit bull.
I like
but I call it the right hand of white supremacy. That's what I call black women.
Listen, now, the same way that we could say that about the black woman, you can also say that about the black man. Because in the 70s, you had the black woman with the feminist movement. Now, how did the black woman learn to vilify us? Gloria Steinem and the CIA created the feminist movement because there was two kinds. You had the feminist movement that was for white women, which all they wanted to do was get a job. Why did they want to get out the house? Because the motherfuckers ain't want to cook no more, because they couldn't cook, because they don't have the slaves anymore and they don't have the maids anymore and they have to work. They would rather go into the workforce. So that's what the feminist movement was for white women. For black women, it was about being separated from your man. I remember a famous black woman, Shahrazad Ali, made a statement that said, why is black women trying to be liberated from the black man when he's never even had the freedom to be in charge of you since we've been in America? So Gloria Steinem, Angela Davis, who's the woman that wrote The Color Purple. So what they did, them Jewish bastards that you said is in charge, them 5 Paramounts and all that, what they did was through media was create movies and music that was centered around us being separate from each other. Was centered around like the white farmers, their families could stay together and get government assistance. The black household, the black man had to be out the house in order to get that government assistance. So although the black man and the black woman is having sex and making babies, if their luck runs out because we're in poverty, because that was also systematic oppression from the white man, and they go to get government assistance, the man can't be in the house in the black community, but the man can be in the house in the white community. So now you get the separation of houses. Then you have the music and the movies that get created that just show constant tension between the black man and the black woman, to where you create the dynamic. I'm an independent woman. I don't need no man. I don't need this. I could be separate. The Color Purple is like one of the most horrific movies ever created. And even that was done to teach black women to be separate from their man. So now we have to say, who's teaching them that lesson? Just like you could say on the flip side, because I know you want to be solely on the black woman, but when it comes to the black man, he also failed at listening to that same oppressor. It's almost like we're puppet masters. We're puppets, and then you have the puppet master at the top, which is the white man and his system that just pulls the string to keep the tension between us. So whereas we looking at each other as the enemy, even you in this debate is taking the side of we're harm to ourselves, when we're not even realizing the one that's pulling the strings to create that tension between us. Because even with Jonathan Majors, you know who gave him his strength? A black woman, Megan Good. Megan Good sticking with him. Is Megan Good not sticking with him?
Megan Good left the man. The pastor broke this man's heart.
Not about that part. But
I forget that.
Look, I would have to look at how they broke up.
Right.
How they broke up.
Literally broke this man's heart.
Okay.
You quoted something earlier.
Okay.
Let me ask you.
Okay.
You quoted Deuteronomy
28, right?
I'm going to quote something from you.
Okay.
The fuck is wrong with you? This ain't about money. I could give a fuck about money.
Mm-hmm.
You see this fucking place. I built this fucking place with my bare fucking hands.
Mm-hmm.
Every light socket, every piece of tile, me with these fucking hands. You know where that came from?
Where?
Not do Deuteronomy, but do the right thing. And that's the problem. Niggas need to do the right thing. We did it. That was Sal from Do the Right Thing. And black folks would just Deuteronomy and do the right thing.
That is hilarious.
And what he said was,
Deuteronomy,
look around,
do the right
man.
thing.
I built all this with my hands. And you talked about what happened with the
Hey, yo, where IBM at, man? Where that ninja at hiding and shit. IBM, come out, man. We gotta talk, my boy. My boy. We gotta talk.
But you didn't talk about where the word ghetto came from. Who was the first put in ghettos?
Jewish people.
Who was the first brought over?
Yeah, that evidence against R. Kelly, man, I find that suspect. And they got him with some type of what's that boss? Rico, some crazy shit. Yeah, nah. I find that suspect. Like, you need some evidence, man. Like, yeah, he was, it appears, unless somebody can source up. Lovejoy sent me a link of a feminist. Send me some unbiased documentation where I could read, or the trial itself. I found it interesting that there's no, believe me, it was recorded. This is R. Kelly we're talking about. Reporters in there recording that shit. Where is the footage of the R. Kelly trial? I would like to see like all this frenzy evidence that I suspect was presented to sentence R. Kelly some hardcore time. I need to see this. What Uncle Keck say? Shit. What did he say? He says, damn. Show me. Wait. No, I need to see that. I'll be like, I need to see that. I need to see that. I need to see this friend's evidence that was mounted against R. Kelly. I got to see this. Seriously, I'm dead ass. When I actually looked into it, like, wait, I did a light look into it, but I'm like, wait a minute, what? He was locked up over what? And they talk about mistrial with Y.M. Melly? Mistrial with young gay thug, pause, no Diddy. It's like, but R. Kelly was? But Bill Cosby was? Nah. But then this whole Diddy thing comes down after the gunmen were, the Goon Squad were sentenced. Let me see their sentence. I don't know if y'all know what the Goon Squad is, man. Try to teach y'all niggas shit. That sound like a disingenuous black man. All right. Okay, so let me check that out later. Yeah, this 400 degrees. They got a new video? Let me check this out later. All right. So let me see the Goon Squad sentence. Right. Let me see this.
And the final 2 white Mississippi officers have been sentenced for breaking into a home without a warrant and torturing 2 black
God.
men. Former Deputy Brett McAlpin was the 4th Two white Mississippi officers have been sentenced for breaking into a home without a warrant and torturing two black men. Former Deputy Brett McAlpin was the fourth highest ranking officer at the Rankin County Sheriff's Office. The judge sentenced him to about 27 years in prison. Richland police officer Joshua Hartfield was given a sentence of about 10 years. The other four officers were sentenced earlier this week with sentences ranging from 17 to 40 years.
Watch breaking news on YouTube.
Now, one more time, because the P. Diddy, you know what? Black men get justice. We get to out white. We get to damn, can I say it again? We get to out white supremacy, right? Caught them red-handed. No conspiracy, no DJ focus, no disingenuous black man. We're talking about real deal white supremacy confirmed. No conspiracy theories here. No Billy Carson over here. You dig? And before we can talk about that, police officers, by the way, you know, protect the blue, protect the bad, that bullshit. They did the unthinkable, the heinous act against a black person. All black lives matter. All lives matter, right? And before we can talk about it, before that could be the talking point of every Shannon Sharp, all these Joe Buns, Diddy. This old perv Diddy drowns out justice. Dr. Attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz was the attorney representing the black men. He can't get his flowers because of the perv Diddy. Because a perv, a billionaire perv out here. That's crazy, man.
Final two white Mississippi officers have been sentenced for breaking into a home without a warrant and torturing two black men. Former Deputy Brett McAlpin was the fourth highest ranking officer at the officers have been sentenced for breaking into a home without a warrant.
Breaking into a home. These are police officers, right? You know what they say, protect the blue, that bullshit slogan.
And torturing two black men.
Blue Lives Matter, torturing two black men, torturing. The Goon Squad, they call themselves.
Former Deputy Brett McAlpin was the fourth highest ranking officer at the Rankin County Sheriff's Office. The judge sentenced him to about 27 years in prison.
Hey, yo, those two black men could have been anybody who called themselves black. African, Jamaican, FBA, wherever you want to call yourself. If you consider yourself black, you could have been one of those two men where police officers broke an officer with badges, torturing, sodomizing. You dig? Trauma, PST, what's that shit called? Post-traumatic stress syndrome, PTSD. The rest of your life. Probably gonna be on crack from now on, like Rodney King, because this is too traumatizing. Crazy. All right, so I don't want to click that juvenile thing. So let me get back to the captain.
Over here and tried to be made to not want to be whatever it is they were and to break up their families. But guess what they wouldn't do again? Pressure can break pipes or pressure can make diamonds.
Right.
They were under the same pressure, and what they did was they said, we'll do better sticking together. That is why they decided to go into the fields of doctors, because they said, they're experimenting on us. Why would we want to go to any doctor? We saw what they did over in Germany. We don't trust.
I mean, I don't know if he's capping with that. That's their thought process. But that's a great point. Like, you got so many conspiracy theories theorists out here. Where you at, Haskell? The vaccine, all this stuff. Well, why don't y'all produce doctors? Why don't y'all have a GoFundMe, raise, what's that shit Target she be doing one of those things, and produce some black doctors that you trust, that you funded, that they can educate you on what's safe and not safe. That's an interesting point that Tommy's making. I'm not sure if that was their mindset, but that's an interesting point. Like, we're so afraid of things. Oh, I'm afraid of police officers. So now we got black cops. Oh, you a cop? Oh, you a cop? Yeah, because you're afraid of white officers, man. So I want to add protection, you know, Black Panther style, but with a badge. Legal. legally do. I'm hired by the same government. I mean, what's a better way to protect yourself than infiltrating? You dig? You know, silly black people don't want to reverse infiltrate. Nah, everybody infiltrating us. Everybody, you know, building alliance against us, but we're gonna just stick to ourselves. We ain't gonna build no alliance with black. Stupid. That Elijah Muhammad, York, garbage.
Trust no doctors other than Jews, and that's why they became doctors. They said we don't want to become subject of the law in these other lands, because if we don't know how to read the law or write the law, we then become subject to the law. And so what did they do? Right now, when you get in trouble, what kind of lawyer do they tell you to get? No matter how black you are, what do they tell you? Get you a Jew. Now, why is it that we think of lawyers and doctors and we think of Jews?
Yeah, Captain trying to think of something. You know, because this is Tommy Lane right here. Tommy don't even got to think about stuff. Like, this is already in his head. His arguments are perfectly rehearsed. You know, he's been doing this for 10 years or so.
Indians, but we don't think of any of these people as blacks. But yet, black people complain about what they get from these non-black people. We could have easily decided to do like they did. We're not going to take this. I'd rather die with my man, is what everybody else said. Remember, you said that the white woman went out with feminism and tried to go out and work because they didn't want to sit at home. You know what they didn't say, though? I don't want to be with a man. But they wanted to go work because they didn't want to cook, but they didn't say, I don't want to be with a man. And I can kill your argument again, pull out the belts yet again. If black people can be told and manipulated by so many people, last I checked, that.
All right, so these are all side arguments, because the topic is who done more harm, black people or white people. So just off the topic, you lost, Tommy. There's no way you can win this shit. Like, Captain only got to say one word, you already lost. So you gotta be slick. You gotta be careful with Captain. Captain picked topics where you lose before you say one word. Okay.
That is a sign of weakness, and that means you.
Who's done more harm to black people, white people? Are you serious, Tommy? Yeah, I want to hear Captain. I hope Captain just ignore all this dumb shit and just stick to chattel slavery. Hey, yeah, no. Chattel slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, redlining, all that shit.
Yourself is a problem, because that means you're weak, you're stupid, you're dumb, you're whatever word you want to call, that someone can always be your puppet master. When are we going to get to the point where we start pulling our own strings?
So now, with that said, the first belt that you thought you pulled out with the whole Africans selling Africans, I debunked that. I just want that on the record, because that was Africans selling Israelites. We were not the same people.
Oh my God.
I just want to highlight that.
Still make it, but whoever sold them, they weren't whites.
No, I'm not right, but they wasn't us either. Remember, the analogy you gave was the father sold the son. The father didn't sell his son. An enemy sold his enemy.
So by that being said, if they are absolved of it, then whites are absolved of it.
Whoa, Tommy. We do not absolve Africans at all. I do not like Africans either. And listen, Africans don't. When I'm in New York right now.
Where are the Israelites at? Where we find them at?
Okay, when you talk about landmass does not make you the same people. Right now, Elon Musk.
Tommy should have did his research on Captain instead, because Tommy's ready to say all Africans are black. Captain like, hey man, that ain't my position. Look at Tommy's face, yo. He called Tommy. Tommy like, hold on. So I got to keep it to America now. I can't do some global. Yeah, Tommy, you messed up. Cat wants some old Israelite.
Musk is a South African, but he's a white man. So just because
Elon Musk is an African American.
Okay, let's say African American. But he's a white man. Why? Because he has African citizenship and American citizenship. So landmass, we ain't got an argument or issue with the ground. The ground didn't do nothing to us. The people of that land did something to us. So Africans selling us is what it was. And the biggest thing in America is that when they use the term African, and
I hate when I go live. Yo, I'm just now seeing the chat. I just happened to refresh my browser. Hey man, yeah, I'm back on R. Kelly in a second. Hey, Lovejoy, Shabar, Shalom, The Watcher, Donnie, Keenan, Timmy, and Denzel Rogers. If anybody else interested in the Mississippi campaign, please click on the link. Oh, you got hold on. You got to send the link. Wait, let me make you a mod. So Denzel, you got to send the link all over. All right, go ahead and send the link now.
And I want to address what you thought you pulled the belt out.
Hey, yo, but y'all don't find it interesting that I just showed a video of these guys right here and their heinous act, and then the P. Diddy scandal started. It overshadowed this like the Most High overshadowed Mary.
The final 2 white Mississippi officers have been sentenced for breaking into a home without a warrant and torturing 2 black men. Former Deputy Brett McAlpin was the 4th highest ranking officer at the Rankin County Sheriff's Office. The judge sentenced him to about 27 years in prison.
This is 7 years ago. This is a police department. 6 men of a police department. Who else? Who knows who else was tied to that? But yeah, this don't raise your kufi, your tinfoil cap. You know, hey, you okay with this? This is about to pop off and be in everybody platform. Tariq Bay, Tariq Nasheed, and then all of a sudden P. Diddy straight overshadowed this story. This was a major win for like Black America. We got 6 police officers indicted, charged, locked up, sentenced, large football years. A win for Black America. Put that back. And then P. Diddy, boom. Oh, this is gone now. This story is totally buried. And on top of that, you got attorney Dr. Malik Zulu Sabaz was the attorney representing the 2 men. Got a good win for the guys and overshadowed P. Diddy. Like, yeah, that is some. Yo, we are some sick people, man. White, yo, listen, man. Like I said earlier, that the 5%ers, the Nation of Islam said they talk about the 5% of Black people. That's worth something. The other 85% worth it. Damn. You dig? And maybe 10% left. You make a talk to and convince them. But they might got a point with that. And the bell curve statistics, that shit might be actually true. Y'all mad at these findings. They might be true. Like, there's a large bulk of Black society that's just damaged goods. Just damaged goods. Just damaged. It should be sold in a fucking dollar store somewhere. You did out of Walmart right into a dollar store. 99-cent store. Damaged goods. I mean, I showed you the 2 Black young dudes, no older than 21, look like home invasion, shot an unarmed Black man dead. No raid, and they got away. No march, no protest, no Black Lives Matter chant. Yo, if all Black Lives Matter, then the best time to chant, we'll talk about, hey, little girls being kidnapped. We do all Black Lives Matter. What about Black men gunning down other Black men and women and babies and nobody getting locked up? Black Lives Matter, right? Lock their ass up. Hey, where the judicial department at? Yeah. Judicial system. Yay. Lock these men up. Like, who's crying for justice of those guys? Look at Yo Gotti, brother, shot dead in the church at a wake. Anybody get caught? Any Black Lives Matter protests? Hey, man, where's Jay Lock this? We need an investigation, man. Use your resources. We need to find out who did this. Check the cameras. Nothing. It's almost like when Black people die heinously at the hands of other Black people. That's like entertainment for us. I don't want to see nobody locked up. I want to see them go and kill somebody else. And sad.
Police officer Joshua Hartfield was given a sentence of about 10 years. The other 4 officers were sentenced earlier this week with sentences ranging from 17 to 40 years.
Watch breaking.
This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report.
I ain't gonna lie.
Amy Goodman.
I ain't gonna lie, yo. She look like the goddamn Halloween witch. Like, straight up.
We end today's show in Mississippi, where 6 former law enforcement officers have been sentenced to between 10 and 40 years in prison each for raiding a home and torturing 2 black men. The officers, all of whom are white, belong to a group that described itself as the Goon Squad. In January of 2023, the 6 officers burst into a home, then beat, handcuffed, waterboarded, and tasered Michael Corey, Jenkins, and Eddie Terrell Parker. The officers also sexually abused them with an object while shouting racial slurs. One of the officers put a gun in Jenkins' mouth for a mock execution and pulled the trigger. The bullet lacerated his tongue, broke his jaw, exited through his neck. The officers then planted drugs at the scene in an attempt to cover up their act. The attack occurred in the majority white rank.
There we go. Salute to Dr. Attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz representing these young brave men. And yo, shot him in the mouth, broke his jaw out of his neck. That shit wild. And then planting drugs. It's that easy. Like right now, I could go somewhere. Wow, a cop could pull me over. Hey man, look, got the card, man. It smell like marijuana in there. I don't even smoke weed. Never smoked weed in my life, but it smell like marijuana in there. Okay, it's about the car. I'm gonna search this shit. I got probable cause. Hey, get out of here. Get out of here. Okay, that's it. Down. Down. I got probable cause. He could just plant a goddamn brick kilo of weed in my car. Hey man, it's you. Okay, let's go to jail. I mean, just like that. Bye-bye. Just like that. Any police officer can do that. Definitely a goon squad member, any some racist, any racist cop organization, group, cult can't just do that straight up. Here, man, you got here. Especially because not every officer got body cam. Nobody can. Hey, man, found drugs on them. It's like, yo, is there anything that he says he found drugs? Can anybody vouch for you to like offset the charges? Like, yo, no. Like, can your pastor, relatives, coworkers, like, hell no, he didn't even smoke weed. Yeah, his car smelled goddamn marijuana. Where it's like, all right, yeah, judge gonna say, all right, look, man, I know you said you found a kilo of marijuana in his car, but his whole neighborhood's vouching for him. People rallying saying that's not his character, that something shady might happen. So we can't confirm your story because you didn't have a body cam. We can't confirm his story that he's innocent of everything because we don't know. So we're going to just disregard. Like, that's how it should be. We're going to disregard the charges, terminate the marijuana, whatever, discard it, and everybody go back to what they're doing. That's how it should be. Cop, hey, I found this on him. A gun. It could be a gun. You know, I hear that's a guaranteed 3 years stiff. You get caught with a gun. Hey, he had his gun on him. No fingerprints, nothing. Yeah, this is in the car. Scratch serial number, probably more time. Loaded, hollow tip, more time. This was his. I'm like, nah, it wasn't mine. Hey, shut up. Your lawyer talk for you. Like, how the hell am I prove that gun wasn't mine?
Rankin County, which is about 20 miles away from majority black Jackson, Mississippi. Some of the officers were also sentenced for their role in a separate assault just 2 weeks earlier, when another member of the Goon Squad repeatedly tased.
No, IBM. Don't give me that. We definitely been desensitized to the violence, but that's because we desensitize our own selves. We kill each other so often that it's no big deal. Get down. Hold on 1 second.
Tased a man and put his genitals in his mouth. While the charge is focused on these two cases, the New York Times and Mississippi Today have revealed that deputies in the Rankin County Sheriff's Department have for decades barged into homes, handcuffed people, tortured them for information or confessions. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland issued a statement Thursday saying, quote, "The depravity of the crimes committed by these defendants cannot be overstated, and they will now spend between 10 and 40 years in prison for their heinous attack on citizens they had sworn to protect," AG Merrick Garland said. We go now to Jackson, Mississippi, where we're joined by Eddie Parker, as well as...
All right, what do you think about that? All right.
The second time, because I just destroyed the first belt, so I want to just destroy the second.
That did not destroy. You know, I don't know the difference between just like you
That's why
said.
I'm educating you. Listen, when
Wait, let me stop you.
good.
Jews and white people, you said they all white. That's why it was evil for them to integrate. Let me tell you something. Israelites and Africans, apparently they was all black, which is why it was easy for them to integrate, which is why it's easy for an Israelite to walk around a black person and they look like the same, but they're not.
Right. But that ain't the belt. That's a good analogy, but that ain't the belt, though. That ain't the belt, but that's a good analogy. I'm gonna tell you why. And that's you walking right into what I was gonna say. When you go over to Africa, like when I went to Israel, you'll find that when you go over there, they don't use the term Africa. They use the tribe and village that they come from. They all have the same melanin. They know who is who. They know if you from Mozambique or they know if you from Tanzania. That's by the way that you look. Yeah. So when we came in there as Israelites, just like us over here today, when some African
but hold on, before you agree with indigenous black man. Matter of fact, let this nigga call in. Let me kick his ass on his prisoner pipeline thing. Let me put this phone number in here. You dig? Maybe put this in for indigenous black man. You want to smoke with me? You dig? Mm-hmm. There you go. You want to smoke with me? Kick your ass, man. Let me beat you up real fast.
Look at Tommy. Tommy's not African, but I can look at somebody else. Like when I'm in New York, I know who the African is by the way that they look and the way that they carry themselves. So that belt is gone.
First, Cap, before you finish,
yeah.
Shout out to 2,100 people watching over on
Rumble.
Definitely. Shout out to 1,000 people watching over on which I've never even went live on X like this, Twitter. Apparently, we got 1,000 people over there watching. Just shout out to the 100 people watching over on Kick, and shout out to the 134 people watching over on Twitter. Is that Twitch? So Twitch and Kick. So
yeah,
we got a large
audience. I think I'm gonna hop on that because I've heard of Twitch. I didn't hear of the Kick, but I think I'm gonna utilize those platforms and stuff like that. So
all right, so I put it in there. I put my Twitch and I put my Rumble in there. I didn't put my Kick in there. The Kick's the only one.
Yeah, send me that Kick. I'm gonna check that out because I definitely want to get on there. So
and that ought to tell you another thing about if I'm such the white man, whatever. Have you noticed that all the pro-blacks and people who talk good stuff to blacks, they have no problem getting a YouTube page, keeping a YouTube page up there, telling people the white man let them stay on that. But me, the white man's bitch, the one who kissed the white man ass, I have been banned from every platform. How's that possible if I'm doing their job?
Yeah, you be, man, from what I know, you do some wild stuff. You got a lot of, I think you just create enemies. I remember when you came up here with Sinetta, I think they tried to get you up here, didn't they?
Yes, but how did I create enemies when I don't know them?
Right.
Let me tell you what I did. A brother Sinetta asked me when I was up there, hey, would you come and perform at this place and debate somebody for me?
Right.
Do you hear what I said?
Yeah, they did Tommy wrong. Who's that nigga? That nigga that snuck Tommy. Didn't he go to prison for like 100 years for like manslaughter, some shit?
A black man that's up in New York by himself. I said, yeah. Didn't charge him a thing. And as a matter of fact, before I came in the door, put down $100 on it. Here y'all go, donation.
Right.
Getting ready to set up to do the show, as I was asked by a brother, didn't charge him a dime. Get ready to get on the show, and these 3 dudes walk up to me and they say, "Hey, you Tommy Sotomayor?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Hey man, I'd like to ask you a question." And I was getting my stuff ready. And I said, "Sure," because I'm very open. You can ask me anything, and I'll answer. Right. He was asking me questions, and I guess people start noticing who I was. So the people who were there started circling around me. And so it just became like, and I love when that happens. It happened to me at the Million Man March. People started circling around me. So he was asking me these questions, thinking he was going to stomp me and thinking he was going to make me look bad in front of the women. Well, I then answered, because most of the time when you watch my video, it's only 5 minutes long and you hear me cussing and you think, oh my God, he just wild. But when you give me a chance to explain it, like here, I sound like I got some damn sense. So as he kept asking me questions, I kept answering them. And then it got to a point where the lady started clapping. Now, you know how black men are if they trying to make you out to be a hater and the girls seem like they like you. So finally I said, well, did I answer your question, sir? He said, I still don't like you, nigga. And that was a shock. I don't know where that came from because I was being very respectful.
Right.
So at that point I said, and this conversation is over.
Right. And the black woman is gone.
I went and grabbed my, I reached down to pick up my bag to get ready to go up on the stage, and he punched me in the back of the head.
Damn.
That was it. Then as I tried to go to get him, Hugh Butter and the rest of them dudes standing in front of me, you don't want this smoke, man. Just let it go, man. Just let it go. And then when I look back in the video about 3 months later, as I was watching the video of what happened, because I had my phone and somebody picked up my phone and then started filming, so you didn't see the contact or him hit me. But the little pussy nigga hit me in the head. I didn't fall down. One thing black men are good at is sucker punching people, but never straight up. He hits me. I don't go down. I go after him. They stand in between me and him. In the video, there was a man behind me with a blade about this long, moving forward towards me. And if I had stopped or backed up, he was going to stab me. Over what? Because you don't like what I say online. And even when I back it up, you still feel like you're an enemy of mine. So let me ask you something. Why is it that black folks love to say white people try to suppress us and not allow us to say what we want, mess up our free speech? And yet it was a black person who decided to kill me because he didn't agree with me, who decided to assault me because he didn't agree with me. That's what happened.
I'm going to give you a story. I'm going to give you a similar story. Like, we teach on the street all the time. For those that may not know, we as Israelites teach on the street all the time. Man, and we're kind of used to,
let me skip past.
Like Christ said in John 8:30.
Come on, bro. Let's get back to the
He said, you go home.
Debate.
My point. Right. That's my point.
But they should, because those are their brothers.
Yeah, that's the call-in phone number. That's the video link, you know. But you got it. I don't know if you're probably not familiar with how I do things here. That is the call number for speaking on the topic that I got here, the topic only. Nothing else. If you want to talk about your link, I did click it. Your link, that'd be another time. But right now, I've been sipping. I'm in my wild out, crash out. Yeah. So this ain't the time to come and be so serious. I'm like really out of character. You dig? This ain't the best representation of myself. So I'm on some playful crash out type shit right now. So you might want to call in probably tomorrow when I go live.
You said what?
By what your logic is, whites are whites' brothers. So why would whites, if I have a child and your child's across the street, why would I make sure your child has the same shoes that mine has?
Because if your job is to police and control said city, I'm not coming to you because you're white or black. I'm coming to you because you're in charge of the city. We're not.
And so what about those cities that blacks are in charge of, like Mayor Barry, who was in charge of DC,
and
like
he should have been
Baltimore.
Now I'm gonna tell you how.
Right now, there's a black woman, and I was going to put the story up. A black woman who stole $300,000 from a 96-year-old woman by taking her credit cards and her social security number. Another black woman.
Mm-hmm.
and stealing it so she can get facelifts and trips.
Now I'm gonna tell you,
Kwame Kilpatrick.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at all these places where there were, like you said, they had the opportunity to do for their own people, and they decided to screw over their own people. And we'll blame that on white supremacy. But when whites screw over whites, they don't blame that on blacks. They blame that on each other. They say you screwed over this group. You screwed over this group.
The reason why. Now I'm gonna tell you. Usually, this is when I say this is how you know you suffer from white supremacy in this regard. When I start pointing out the governments that are in charge, you give me the small pocket examples of where black people were in charge. So I
can give you more than that, though. I gave you a lot right there, and I can give you a lot more. That's a lot that I gave you within seconds off the top of my head. That's not a small.
But hear what I'm saying. You did that to take away from the major point. The major point. I
didn't answer when you said they don't do that. If I say white people don't go out and piss on the ground, and then you say I just saw some do it, you're only answering what I said.
No, that's not what I'm saying, though. What I'm saying is that in the communities, black people get blamed for what they do to themselves. There's no one blaming, especially when we know the history of them pumping drugs into the black communities purposely. When they're purposely arresting people for crime, black people for crimes that they didn't commit, when they're purposely locking them up, when they're purposely putting drugs in the community, when they're purposely making sure it is the poorest poorest city in every nation, the only reason we're complaining to another race of people is because they're in charge. So it's not
like white people, like the Appalachian whites who had alcohol and tobacco pushed on them, and they never been able to get out. And the Appalachian whites still look like they live in back.
I don't even know about I don't even know who the Appalachian whites are. You can educate me on it, but I don't even know.
West Virginia, Tennessee, those whites are struggling. They're backwater. They literally are sitting there in trailers and have.
And who do they blame for that?
Generations of being in trailers, generations of alcoholics. And generations of stuff.
And who do they blame for that?
No, I'm saying they blame them. They call them white trash.
Okay, no problem.
They don't give them shit. That's why they got mad and voted for Donald Trump, because they saw they don't get anything. They saw that blacks were getting bills to give to them. They saw that Jews, they saw that everybody else was getting something. But all they do is call those Appalachian whites.
That's fire.
Trailer trash.
No problem.
White trash. They give them nothing.
When you mention that opioid problem, if you mention crime, it only became something that they wanted to address, and to show you how they wanted it to look a little or sound a little better for white people. They didn't call it a heroin problem. They call it an opioid problem. For blacks, it's a heroin.
All right, Kat. All right. So, Kat, let me explain, because you probably legitimately just don't know. Okay. So, for one, unfortunately, black people was the experimental rat for this whole this war on drugs, because they thought, hey, if we lock them up, they'll stop doing drugs. They underestimated the addiction. And so 30 years went by, 40 years went by, and they realized, okay, locking people up doesn't solve the drug problem. So why would they continue with it, Captain? It's just called, okay, that didn't work. And it looks bad because now that white folks it's their turn to get locked up alongside with us, because we're still doing opioids along with them. They're looking like, nah, maybe intervention in these facilities, these detox places and blah 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 blah, rehabilitation. Maybe locking them up isn't the best solution. So it looks bad. So it's like, hey, look, no, the white folks, you ain't trying to lock them up, because they realized it didn't work. But that's our fault for smoking crack in the first place. But again, like, this feeds that thought. Like, our 85% of black folks just fair game and just stupid. They just fall for any tactic, any goop. Here, sell drugs to people. Here, don't sell drugs to whites and Latinos and whoever else. Sell drugs to black people. Ruin your society. Oh, and make a little dollar and get locked up. Yeah, that sounds like a great future. I'll do it. Like, come on, like, stop it. Like, you're not getting no damn Jewish people to sell drugs to each other. Stop.
Heroin problem. For whites, it's an opioid problem, because opioid sounds medicinal. Heroin sounds.
Yeah, No. They actually, because they are taking pills, so it's really the pill thing. It's not like the heroin, like heroin. It's actually like taking they popping the pills that leads to heroin. Hey, but Cat, yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Sound a little better for white people. They didn't call it a heroin problem. They call it an opioid problem. For blacks, it's a heroin problem. For whites, it's an opioid problem because opioid sounds medicinal. Heroin sounds crackish. It sounds detrimental, even though both of them are detrimental. And I'm not saying
they call them different things because one was made in a lab and the pharmaceutical companies did it to them. So America did it to their own whites.
Yeah.
Well, you can't. I mean, okay. See, now this is where they both being retarded. Tommy, you just said pharmaceutical company, stupid. So I mean, what, dude? The government don't produce pharmaceuticals. It's private owned pharmaceutical company that does. And then it's not necessarily them. It's the doctors, because you can't just go to a pharmaceutical laboratory and say, hey, I want some Percocet, I want some sticks. You can't do that. You got to go to your doctor or get it from the streets somehow. And believe me, ain't no drug dealer coming to a pharmaceutical company say, hey man, that's impossible. There's cameras everywhere, and like how and you trying to tell me that we never see them unless it's the damn truck that backs in there. Then how do you know either way? Like, come on, just retarded goofiness. But conspiracy theories
are detrimental. And I'm not saying
they call them different things because one was made in a lab and the pharmaceutical companies did it to them. So
all right, he said the pharmaceutical company did it. So now watch this.
America did it to their own whites.
Yeah.
They did it to them. Remember, it wasn't blacks. They can't say blacks came and sold it to them. They were giving this to them. They were writing scripts for this.
Right.
So that ain't pharmaceutical. Nigga, the pharmaceutical companies do not write prescriptions, stupid. The doctors. That got nothing to do with the buildings itself, the manufacturer that is stupid. That's something that these practices buy. They order their clients. They're clients to pharmaceutical companies. When I work for them, we have clients. People purchase in large bulk of drugs and they sell them or rebrand them, rename them, recode them, put their own emblem on them. Like, come on, like, you guys know what the fuck you talk about. None of y'all do. You dig? You asked me how this shit done.
And then now they're complaining to the same whites that was doing it. But when blacks commit crimes against each other, when blacks sell drugs to each other, they blame us as if we do it ourselves. We can't go. If we start blaming the government, you start blaming the mayor, they say, nah, it ain't the government fault.
It ain't the government fault. Why are you saying, y'all both talking about selling drugs? Okay, Tommy Sotomayor says white doctors prescribing it to white people, and then you got black people selling crack. Where does the government fit in? Like, you're just weird.
Even though we find out that it was the government's fault.
Yeah, maybe I need to debate Captain this shit right here and get another W.
The whole time we saying it's the government's fault for these drugs coming into our community, and they say no, it's not. And then we find out that the CIA and Ronald Reagan and all of them was at fault and was doing it. We're
like the opioid epidemic. Yeah, the pharmaceutical companies,
So it goes back to Captain. Come on, dude. Like, black people, y'all gotta stop being fucking retarded. Which you probably can't help. Maybe the bell curve is true. Yo, somebody just can't say, here, man, you're in the ghettos, like the Jewish people. Here's some drugs. Sell drugs to your own people and you'll get out of the ghetto. Kill your society so you can get out. Like, oh yeah, that sounds good. Like, come on, at what point do we say, yes, a lot of black motherfuckers retarded? DJ Focus want to tell us that the music industry is getting us to kill each other. All right, again, black folks retarded. White people listen to the same music, they don't kill each other over it. But somehow we got this death gene in us that it's so easy for people to convince us to kill each other, to harm. It's so easy for somebody to convince us to harm each other.
Companies don't or do
listen, the white man is the devil. With that said,
what they did with tobacco, 2 whites and have paid and did nothing.
With that said, but it's extra vilified when it's put upon blacks. Remember, the subject is who's done more harm to us. If they don't flood us with those drugs, we don't have the issues in our community that we have. If they don't,
and if we realize the white man had enslaved us, so we don't want to take anything they give us, it's the same lie or excuse, whichever you want to call it, when they say they sent us guns, they put guns in the hood. Yeah, but you could have taken those guns like what they did with the Iran-Contra affair. They gave them guns, and what they do? Turn them on the whites. They gave guns to the Fast and Furious. What they do? Turn them on the whites. They gave guns to to Saddam Hussein. They gave guns to Osama bin Laden. Each of them took the guns, gave it to their people, and turned it against the people who gave it to them. Right. We are the only people who sit and bitch and moan and say the white man gave it to us, so therefore we didn't have agency over ourselves to say no.
That's the difference.
Let me tell you something. There are plenty of people who've been to jail. A lot of them never been fucked in the ass or sucked no dick. You know why? Because it didn't matter that they were offering dick. They knew they didn't want it.
That's facts. But here's where you're being desensitized to black people in this regard. When the Irish came over here as immigrants, when the Italians came over here as immigrants, they robbed and shot people, and they didn't want to be accepted either. But you know what happens eventually? The white man let them come into society. And those whites, those Irish became police officers that you see in Boston and can keep the racism going. As much
they did it on purpose. That's why I was telling you, they integrated. They said, let's do it ourselves.
No, it ain't that. We looking at it as that they integrate. It ain't just that they integrated. They were accepted by who they were being integrated with.
Oh, no. I didn't say they integrated. What I'm saying is they said they don't want to let us in. So we'll just have our own little pocket. They treated them people like crap.
You're talking about the Irish, right?
Yeah, all of them. You ever seen the games in New York?
But that's
they literally treated them people like crap. So what they said was, we have to be closer, and then what we'll do is start making our own pockets of stuff, like in Atlanta. You remember you just told me I can't use these things. Well, yes, you can. If you saw what the Jews did and the Irish did, what they did was became their own police officers and their own mayors.
So
they did it
when the Panthers became their own police officers. The police changed the laws. So now in California,
this is why we should become lawyers when they can't do that. That's why the Jews.
How the hell they change? How police officers don't change laws, dude? Police officers can break laws. The police officers don't change laws, Cat.
Wait, but the leader of the Panthers was intelligent. That's how he knew the law.
Not intelligent, a lawyer. And we know this. Even the Bible tells you about that. About here's the difference between you knowing the law.
Right, Cat, Cat, dude. Like you just said, don't just become intelligent. No, they didn't do it. He didn't know the laws. He knew his constitutional rights. You dig? He didn't know the laws. Lawyers know laws. They weren't out some old pseudo Moors talking about we know the laws. Like they weren't like that, dude. All right. Yeah, they didn't know the law. The Constitution, that was it. 10 of them.
Tommy's crazy as hell. Listen, Tommy, he was so smart that he knew how to carry the weapon, when to carry the weapon, when to sheath it, when to lock it, load it. He knew all.
So smart, nigga. That's what you're supposed to know when you are in a state where you can carry arms. You're supposed to know what you can do and not do. That's not smart. I mean, if you're saying that, if you're saying that makes them brilliant, then the rest of white society just fucking Albert Einstein.
All of that. And you know what California did? Changed the damn gun law so that they couldn't do it and that they could not police themselves. And then
but by doing that means nobody can do it, Cat. So now you might be right about that. But again, that goes back to politicians, people and those lawmakers. They can go to Congress and conjure up some bullshit. But the police officers themselves can't decide, hey, man, let's make a new law tomorrow. The president, all of us in cahoots on that, most likely. Okay. All right, let's go.
Was hated, walked into the courtroom knowing the law and destroyed them legally.
Say it one more time.
And yet Angela Davis knew they didn't like her. They were against her. She went into the courtroom, knew the law, and destroyed.
Yeah, but again, Denzel, if you want to talk about these things, I'm okay with that. But I'm in like I said, I'm in a playful mood. I don't feel like being serious with information. I don't want to hear a whole 2-hour lecture or something. But if you want to call in or click the link to talk about things like this, I'm okay with that. So you can do that. I just don't want to be too serious.
Destroyed them legally.
But Angela Davis was working with the CIA. She was working with Gloria Steinem. That's what I was saying earlier. That feminist movement, Gloria Steinem, who worked for the CIA, infiltrated. That's the COINTELPRO.
She was arrested, but then they let her off to show what?
Well, let Angela Davis
all the charges against her. She was able to beat them, and she did that because they were just trying to put a show for the rest of the world.
Absolutely. Because Gloria Steinem and Angela Davis led the damn feminist movement.
No, I'm saying, so what was the show? Like, what did they want us to see her be arrested, charged with all those crimes, and then
what we think of when black people are arrested for what we deem as being something positive, that they're for the movement. That's why most people believe Angela Davis was for the movement. Most people don't know the history that Angela Davis worked with Gloria Steinem and the CIA. Most people don't know that because she had the afro, she had the pump fist, so they don't know that she was with COINTELPRO. Just like, you understand what I'm saying? So that's what they was allowed to do, to infiltrate the Panthers, to then infiltrate the Nation of Islam, to infiltrate every black organization. One thing I want to point out about
how are blacks so easily infiltrated, and yet we can't.
Not every black organization, my boy, was infiltrated and could be infiltrated. They tried to infiltrate the Deacons of Defense, and J. Edgar Hoover and them was unsuccessful, my boy. So no, only pseudo disorganized black organizations could be infiltrated, like y'all guys, but not serious brothers that's, you know, down the ride. No. Only y'all religious guys can be infiltrated in the Black Panther Party. That just their whole membership is based on how you look. Okay, it's the brown paper bag test. Yeah, you black, you can down, you're down. But he's an undercover cop though, so stop it, bro. Yeah, y'all all is worthy of infiltration. Y'all all are vulnerable to infiltration.
Oppression. Imagine you got somebody in a dungeon, you got them locked up, you kidnap them, and you got them in the basement of your house. You don't let them out the basement. You bring them downstairs. You bring the food downstairs. The food is trash. And then one day you let them come upstairs, watch TV with you, and eat milk and cookies. But then after they eat the milk and cookies and watch that TV, you send them right back downstairs in the dungeon. You know all they're gonna wait for is their milk and cookies, their opportunity to get their milk and cookies. And then you say, I need you to do this for me, and I'm gonna give you some more milk and cookies. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna eat them milk and cookies. So we got a small gift. That's why in the Bible it says they have healed the hurt of my daughter slightly, saying peace, peace.
He watered our ignorance, our stupidity to sabotaging our own selves for milk and cookies. Milk and cookies.
When there is no peace. So if you take brothers that are oppressed or in poverty, and then you take some white man that come with the COINTELPRO and say, I'll pay you X amount of dollars. Unfortunately, you have some of us that will accept that, which is why I can't argue.
So why would they stop doing it if it keep fucking working, man? Why would anybody stop doing it? It's working. Y'all niggas are stupid. One person would take a little money to set the whole race back 100, 200 years. Why would anybody stop? It works. Why don't you die off? Let the 5% of us live. So that shit won't work.
That you have some black people that have sold us out for the white man.
Those are the ones I'm talking about when I say that we've done more damage to ourselves than they have, because we cannot keep giving ourselves the excuse. And I'm going to say,
hey, Kat, you might be losing that one. I think Tommy got you with that one.
something that I know you and probably the people in there who listening ain't gonna really like this, but maybe it's time for us to bring up this point or at least think about this.
Right.
Maybe blacks just have a lower IQ than other people. Maybe genetically we're just not as smart as other people. If we
and like that's what you end up coming to. What he just said. That's what I end up coming to. Because when you ask indigenous black man, DJ Focus, any of these fucking black fist waving niggas out here, and you ask them like, okay, what's the solution? It's no solution. It's just, yo, white folks, we're the victim, white folks. But there's no plan of action to reverse engineer, to get it going. It's just always victim. So it's like, okay, so there's no solution. So we're just retarded men that's just vulnerable to, like, the what's that called? God damn. The Sugar Ray Leonard punch. You wave your fist with your right hand, and look, and the left hand you smack them with the okido. It's like, so we're just forever like doomed by the okido? Like, nah, bro, like that cannot make sense, because it's drawn that conclusion. It's like, yo, so we're just forever tormented by sellouts, coons, and tricks that we keep falling for. You got rappers right now rapping about lean and all type of drugs, selling, robberies. This is black culture, and the music is played like these lyrics are played wherever we go. It follows us. It's our shadow. It's a reminder, like, yo, y'all ain't, like, we remind ourselves with our music that we ain't shit as a people. God just good for killing, robberies, infidelity, adultery. I'm just good for that. And we remind ourselves that with the music. So yeah, so it starts to narrow down to that conclusion. Like, yo, so what? Why don't you gotta ask? So why do we keep falling for this shit? And we as a collective, stop yelling. We as a collective, not we as a individual, not as an individual. What you want? What? Wait. Okay. Come. Sit down. Like I talk like him. He was telling me, sit down. Sit down. Eat my concoction I just whipped up real fast. Yeah, so Tommy, yeah, that's the conclusion that you start to come to when things just get worse and we become worse as a society. It's like, yo, we been through the crack epidemic and now we're back in another drug epidemic. We don't have a Jewish chant. No more. A Jewish jingle. No more, never again. We went through a major drug problem, the crack era. And now we got rappers gladly rapping about smoking crack, basically.
He can constantly say somebody did this. Now, for no matter how much oppression you've been under and your girl have been under, if she keep telling you she was screwing other people because they was able to talk her in the dick, you wouldn't sit up there and say, well, I understand. We have been through slavery. And she used to that. That's what I'm saying. So for some odd reason, the same way when men don't take care of their kids, we don't say, well, slavery did separate the black man from his kids, so we got to give him the excuse. So for some reasons, we say there is no excuse, and other reasons we say there is an excuse. Right. And I don't think that's fair, because it seems like we're giving a get out of jail free card. Maybe we just aren't smart enough.
Free card to who?
Blame the victim.
To the blacks who are fucking up or selling out. We're giving them as an excuse, and I don't like that excuse. That's what my song was about. Fuck the excuse. If Black Wall Street meant that much and was a symbol for blacks, you know what? We build it back now. We ain't got to keep talking about it. We could make it exist. Make them blow it down. Make them burn it down. Make them get in biplanes and throw out Molotov cocktails. But if they're not going to do it, no. The Jews don't do that. I will not listen to that excuse.
No, not that part.
Before we were born. It's not right.
No, Tommy, not that part. When you said let them throw the stuff off the edge.
No, I'm saying let them do it now.
Oh, you talking about in 2024?
Yes, they've already done it. I'm saying let them do it again.
No,
that's what happens. When I was young, what they tell you, if you went up the street and got your ass whooped, you know what my mama told me to do the next day?
You gotta go back.
Take your ass back up there and do it again. Right. So we sit and talk about shit that happened before we were even born, living off somebody else's laurels. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not going to sit up here and talk about how my daddy used to whoop niggas' ass, how my daddy was athletic, but I ain't. And he's sitting up here looking at me talking about, he basically looking at me like a failure. He wondering why his son ain't like him. It's like a dude who's real athletic, Dwayne Wade, and then your son gay. He out there in dresses. That's embarrassing. And let me tell you something. We've embarrassed everybody who built all that stuff you say they built because we talking about it instead of being about it. We should have been and rebuilt that stuff back today.
Was you a preacher before? Was you ever a preacher?
It sound like I preach. I know. I don't. I don't. Let me tell you something. I really believe it. I know it sounds odd. I really believe it. I know it sounds odd. God sent me to do this.
Come on, man.
Why in the scripture he just read,
and we go just winding up stuff.
God was only talking to the Jews because he was tired of them sinning. The portion of the Bible has nothing to do with black or white people. The first five books are all about the Jews.
Right.
And it said the Weinberg, Germany, when King Conrad III defeated the Duke of Welf in 1140 and had placed Weinberg under siege, the wives of the besieged castle negotiated a surrender, which granted them the right to leave with nothing but what they can carry on their shoulders. Then she said, and this is a black woman, then she finished it with saying, those women were white. Black women would have not chosen their men. Remember, they were told that they can only leave with what they can carry. You just told me about how black women decided to go with the state instead of with their man because the state could give them a little more crumbs than they could get at home. Yet these women left all their earthly possessions to leave with their man when they could have stayed with the men who were the marauders. And they said, I'd rather have what I can carry on my shoulder and walk out with my man than live in your castle. That's what they did.
And let me tell you something. That was black women and black men in history in America. It only changed. Well, first, let me back up to the whoever sent you that message that said that was to the Jews don't know the Bible. Jews is only one tribe. You have 12 tribes. That was what make the Jewish man fake. I know we on Rome.
Not gonna sit up here and say these women need somebody to give them protection with correction. Is that what you said? Protection with correct? What did you say?
I said we can correct them and protect them is what I said.
Okay, so let me tell you what you said. They with the correction, they need protection too. But most of these women seem like the only thing they want is erection and dereliction because that is the reason why we got a whole lot of damn kids.
Tommy, you a pastor. Tommy, you is a goddamn pastor. I don't care what you say. Yo, you is a goddamn pastor. Because you were in preacher mode just now. I ain't mean to stop. The black man has to take the helm. So now I'm going to use my organization as an example. We have men in our school that were fucked up before they came into the school. We have black women in our school that were fucked up before they came into our school. And
well, if I ever have a school or some type of, I don't want nobody fucked up coming in. I want people with their shit straight. And like that's the thing with us. Like we want to recruit the worst of society. Elijah Muhammad said it best. The have-nots. Meanwhile, the rest of the world recruit from the best of their society. This is why they have thriving societies, countries, armies, economies. We got this fetish with, let's get the have-nots. Then we wonder why we get RICOs and conspiracy charges, infighting. Yeah, why don't we just get the best black people to join our schools and organizations? Why do we go after the worst? Yo, hold up. Are you ex-crackhead? Yeah. Wait, you can't join just yet. Do you have a high school diploma? No. All right, you're getting close. Have you ever worked before? No. Okay, yeah, join. Yep, let's get them. Yeah, yes, sir. Sign right here.
And you know what we did to both? We corrected them. We told the black man the shit that he was doing wrong, how to correct himself, be a better father, have a job, learn to keep the law, stop being wicked and evil as hell. We taught the black woman to stop being an evil bitch to a man, evil bitch to her kids, all of that shit. And then what did we?
How'd that work out?
It's beautiful. Like if you want April 20th in North Carolina, I'm about to tell you, in North Carolina, I got your number. April 20th, we having a Passover. You can come see how beautiful it is, and you're gonna see a sea of black women. That
you better not do like Sinetta, invite me somewhere and I get punched in the back of the head. I'm tired of falling for the okie doke. I'm tired of falling for the banana in the tailpipe.
Tommy, you can be my special guest. I'll be your escort. You'll be in the safest place you can be. But what you'll see is resurrected black men and black women, and that correction with protection. Not the erection that you added to it, but the correction with the protection. I think I'm gonna use that. The correction with the protection. You're gonna see that in full effect, and you know what you're gonna say? Man, these Israelites got it together. These Israelites did something that I've never seen. They corrected the black woman, and look how beautiful she is.
No, but hold on. Here's what I gotta say.
Before I give it back to you, before I give it,
I just want to say that one of the first groups that ever showed me love, ever, was you cats.
Most High in Christ.
That's why I never had a problem with y'all. Y'all were like,
Tommy, now you here, we're gonna fix you too. We're gonna fix you too. We'll correct you too, and then the black woman will get corrected, and you'll be like, God damn. Now, and you'll still talk about the black woman, but you can talk about the black woman when you corrected and protected. If you corrected and protected, you could talk about the black woman. You can talk about.
But I am though.
You say who?
Hold on. I am though. Let me tell you something. You know how many black women in my life right now depend upon me for damn near everything that they have.
You say that again.
Say that again. Know my business. You know why? Because if you let them know your business, look how they tried to destroy my life. Everything they find out and know.
Listen, if I don't want to stop you, but I want to tell you something. When you say destroy you, like I go through that. Like I've had people. I have a daughter that has Down syndrome, right? I have people that try to exploit that and say she can't come around my organization, even though she can, even though she does. Talk about me, I mean, like a dog. So I get exactly where you're coming from. So I understand that part, but you still gotta correct and protect. Because even Christ, if we both believe in Christ, Christ said, remember when they hated you, that they hated me first. Right. They killed a man that did nothing but give them the solution of correction for protection. Right. But he didn't stop.
You know, and I'm not, but wait a minute, that's what I was trying to tell you. But even though they tried to do all this, I didn't, because I know that what I'm saying has to be worth something. Because just like they said, let me kill Christ.
Mm-hmm.
These niggas that's up here talking about selling drugs and fucking hoes, these men make it. They love them. These women that you talked about when you said these men selling drugs, do you understand that men can go one of two ways? If you are sleeping with men who are doctors right now, if the fine bitches said, I will only fuck niggas who have a doctorate. You know how many thugs will leave the street and go get a doctorate? Because they want that fine woman. You know how many men don't even like sports like that, have still played the sports because they know the women want a fucking athlete. You know how many men have tried to rap like King Von said, I rap because these bitches like rappers.
Now you know what that says, but you know what that says though, that they weak on the women, and that got to get corrected so they can.
Ooh, say it again.
That they weak on a woman.
So when I talk about it, when I talk about it, I say, I know you are. Just like how I speak about if white people are able to manipulate us, I can't keep blaming them. If women are able to manipulate us men, I can't keep blaming the women. The men must be weak. That's exactly what I've been getting at. So my song was saying that. So we can tell men we're weak if they run up on the women like this. Nobody says, but you a man, you ain't supposed to be putting us down like that. No, I got to call it what it is. It is a weakness. And if I don't call it a weakness, you're going to think it's okay to still do it.
Now, I just want to add this stat too, because you was talking about with the white women. Somebody just sent me this black marriage in 2021. 93% of black women have a black husband. And so I just want to, you know.
Yeah, which is the shame that they would then cheer for not getting one. If 90, think about it. That means
I'm gonna need a source on that. Let's look it up. I don't believe that shit. I don't believe that. Let's look it up. That's like some source up on the fly type. Mm-mm. Don't do that shit. Man. All right. Come on. All right, let's get it. Okay. Some racial groups are more likely to intermarry than others. Of the 3.6 million adults who got married in 2013, 58% of American Indians, 28% of Asians, 19% of yeah, you see, y'all can't fuck with me. 19% of blacks and 7% of whites have a spouse whose race was different from their own. Yeah, I told you, I don't believe that shit. White women in America are the most loyal to their race when it comes to that type of shit. White women. Cause I knew what I read. Like, hey man, what the fuck to Captain Tazar talking about? Cause what I read said white women. All right, yeah. So he put some fake ass stat up, some shit from Young Pharaoh website. Some racial groups are more likely to intermarry than others. Of the 3.6 million adults who got married in 2013, 58% of American Indians, 28% of Asians, 19% of blacks, and 7% of whites have a spouse whose race was different from their own. All right. So we ain't gonna do that. Let's go to different source. Okay. Okay. Let's do it. When Ann Dunham, a white woman, married a black African student, Barack Obama Sr. in 1961, marriage between white and black Americans was rare. Less than 3% of all marriages were interracial in 1960, and the public generally disapproved of such unions. Interracial marriage was even illegal in the United States in 15 states. Although the Supreme Court, blah, 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 and a report, okay, blah, blah, court that laws prohibiting interracial marriages were unconstitutional in 1967. It reported 72% of Southern white Americans and 42% of Northern white Americans said they support to an outright ban of so 72% of Southern, 42, just damn near half. The majority of Southern white folks and almost half of Northern white folks said, nah, let's ban interracial relationships. Even by 1987, just 40% of Americans said it was okay for whites and blacks to date each other. But let's get it. Let me see some real numbers here. Look at this. While 31% of Asians, 26% of Hispanics, and 16% of blacks married out in 2008, just 9% of whites did. See, so miss me with that, Cat. I do this for real. I do this. I'm the real. I sourced up on you ASAP. Nah, you hell no, you lying. Black women, black men, interracial date like a motherfucker. Y'all can't act like white people are so racist, but then say they date out more than blacks. Like that would defeat the arguments. Like, well, how racist can they be if they marrying non-white people? So yeah, so white people. So this will fit that logic. If white people are so racist, you would expect them to marry themselves. All right, but you see, I source up on his ass ASAP. No sir. No sir, no sir, no sir. You can't pull that on me. Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. This is what I do. I read and watch so much shit. Sometimes people throw it at me. Hey, check this out. Check this out. Watch or Khalid. So throw me stuff. Hey, check this out. DJ Focus. Hey, check this out. And I end up checking it out. So I stay reading and studying just different shit all the time, man. So I call cap on that ASAP. 93% of black women married. What stat is that?
7% women have a black husband. Sent me this black marriage in 20.
They still do it.
Now, I just want to add this stat too, because you was talking about with the white women. Somebody just sent me this black marriage in 2021. 93% of black women have a black husband.
All right.
And so I just want to,
yeah, which is the shame that they would then cheer for not getting one. If 90, think about it. That means
it doesn't make sense.
Only 7% is messed up in this particular case.
That's all I'm pointing out. That because let me tell you who the black woman only has the black man. She don't have nobody else.
Fact.
Ain't nobody trying to save her, which is why she always talks shit when a black man
saving her though.
No, but I'm saying somebody else saving her from us. Remember what they did in the 80s? You might not be as old as me. I'm an old man. I'm 48.
I'm 49.
Okay, then you know. In the 70s and 80s and early 90s, what did black women do to black men on public television in front of millions of audiences?
They stopped going to the 70s and 80s, man. Do a recent fucking debate, man. This shit killing me. Like, yo, y'all debate the past or the present.
It was independent. That's what I was talking about with
they told them that we were drug dealers, gay, got STDs, we don't work, they're more educated than we are, they're having a hard time.
All black women do that. You know, probably women in the feminist movement, but that's not all black women. A lot of black women didn't feel like that. You know, that those women had agendas as part of organizations. Like you said earlier, Kat said earlier, someone with CIA, come on, man. Like, you don't paint the whole damn race behind 6 people. Shit. I hate those type of arguments.
They were telling the white man all day in front of the world. They told the white man.
That's like the pregnancy of the feminist movement. Like the 70s, 80s, and the 70s and 80s was like the incubation of we about to hate black men. We about to promote it. That's what I was saying earlier about the feminist movement. Like that Color Purple, the author of the Color Purple was also with a white man. And that goal was to vilify. So she made Danny Glover be a woman beater. You got them sleeping with the underage girls, all of that, so that when we would look at a black.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely say if there's a Latino criticizing Latinas and he's not dating a Latina, he's off. He's off. If there's a white person heavily criticizing white women and he don't date white women, that doesn't work, my boy. Black men, if you're not dating black women, you gotta run from the criticism of black women. You can't do it. You have given up that right. It makes you look bad. It makes it look like you have a motive. You don't date them. It's so easy to criticize or critique something that you not interested in. It's easy. It's hard to critique something that you're interested in or involved in or involved with. Yeah, so if I was interracially dating, trust me, I wouldn't criticize black women at all. Like, I'll leave it to somebody else. My mouth be shut. I have my personal, bed pillow talk, but I wouldn't publicly say anything, like nothing negative, because I will understand I gave up that right. I will understand it looks bad. It looks bad. It looks like I have an agenda or some shit. So I wouldn't do it. So if you ain't dating black, you really should reserve your opinion on black relationships, what I'm talking about. Not all things, but relationship-wise. Yes, because it definitely looks like there's an agenda. There's a bias.
Black man, the black man would be looked at as nothing, not even realizing, like you said, the black woman need to wake up and understand.
He said 23. Y'all are too funny. You said 23 ISPK members polled in a survey. And the survey said 93% of black women marry a black man. Yeah, all right. Who y'all think y'all talking to, man? Yeah, damn sure ain't talking to me with that bullshit.
Understand, all she has is a black man.
And I'm not really against interracial marriages or relationships at all. I'm not. I don't give a damn one way or the other. But I don't like agendas like the media. Like even white people notice like there's a lot of commercials, white woman, black man, white woman. Like even white people complain like, yo, what the fuck is what's this about? You know, gay couple, and one is definitely black. You ain't gonna have just two gay couples, one Hispanic, one white, one Asian. There's no depiction of Indian gay people on TV. It's gonna be black for sure, white, but black for sure, 100%. And like that's why I kind of like the notion of SBA because it separates us from a larger portion of Black America where we become a group. We become sectionalized, and we get to maybe create a cancel culture. You did? We're saying, well, no, we're not that because I don't believe everybody Black has the same wants and desires for Black America. Like people experience are different, especially like the foreigner Blacks. When you come over here like fresh, if you've been over 20 years, you're a little different. But I'm talking about like 3 years in, like, dude, like you don't know shit about America. You don't know shit about Black culture, and you over here in politics or got this fuck social media, and you know you're influencing. You got the shade room, like you doing some shit like that. Like, yo, you don't even know much about nothing, and you out here hopping on the bandwagon promoting shit. You got like Trap Lil Ross, that white clown doing documentaries of Black folks. You know, they're good documentaries, but it's like, dude, why don't you do a documentary of good things that Black folks do? It'll never happen because like people like DJ Vlad and DJ Vlad does some good things. I carry Adam in there, but I'm talking about shit like Trap Lil Ross is a different breed. Adam 22 hire a lot of Black people, so I can't really get on them. Vlad and Adam 22 are responsible. No Jumper are responsible for a lot of Black men, you know, becoming lit. You dig? So yeah, some rah goofy niggas hop on there and self snitch, but they also have other people on there. DJ Vlad also have other stand up Black people on there who are, you know, good people, and they're able to promote their business and things like that on there. Nah, it's definitely a quid pro quo. So I ain't that mad at DJ Vlad or Adam 22. I think they do a good job. You know, they're gonna have a rah-rah because y'all niggas like rah-rah. Like, why would they only put Byron Allen and Damon John? Y'all niggas don't want to watch that. Look, y'all don't even want to talk about the Goon Squad. Y'all want to talk about Diddy. So only Black people stupid enough to say, you know what? They only want to talk about Diddy, but I'm going to talk about the Goon Squad anyway and get no views. No. You talk about Diddy. You talk about what these incompetent, degenerate niggas want to listen to. Diddy. They don't want the Goon Squad. They don't want Black Wall Street. They want Diddy. Give them Diddy. No Diddy. Pause. That's all they want. They want the D. No Diddy. Niggas don't hear nothing constructive. So yeah, so you got to end up concluding like, yo, there's a large part of Black society that's really just damaged goods. Niggas just walking fucking zombies waiting to die off. Like, we just waiting for the niggas to die off. Get locked up so we can represent Black excellence for real. Like, come on, man. Like, there's some Black people that I came across like a 10-second conversation. I can tell this is a good person. And I'll be 100% correct. I know y'all do the same thing. Y'all talk to one Black person, one Hispanic person, and be like, yo, that motherfucker, that's a real dude. That's a real sister. I can fuck with that person. And there's some Black people where you like, the jury's still out, the verdict stood out. But this other black people like, yo, that nigga ain't nothing about that nigga. I don't know this nigga. I don't know nothing about him. But yo, he come off as a cruddy ass. I'm good. I ain't fucking the hell. I ain't nothing. Y'all going bowling? I'll think about it. Shit, I ain't going. Shit. And yeah, and them niggas like that need to be railroaded right to goddamn prison. So we need more prisons for niggas. We need it. Our society, what we're doing right now, we need more prisons. We don't need more colleges. We don't need more trade school. We need more prisons.
And
who wrote The Color Purple?
Say again?
Who wrote The Color Purple?
A black woman.
Uh-huh.
That's what.
So let me get this straight.
Uh-huh.
On the internet in 2024, or when I started 2009, they can't handle a black man talking about them that way. And yet we had to sit there and watch The Color Purple.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get to go off on them. We didn't get to go off on them when Oprah was on television talking about black men ain't shit. We had to eat it. Almost every time they put us down, we had to eat it. But now all of a sudden we got to be nice to them. Where's the logic in that?
Because here's the tweak I'm going to tell you. When you out there correcting them, you got to offer the protection. You got to say, we're destroyed because we allowed our, like, you got to tell that black woman, she allowed the white woman to manipulate her. She allowed herself to be manipulated. When you have to damn near.
She want to be the white woman. We don't sit up here and try to get the awards the white man does, but she trying to get every award the white woman gets.
And we do got to add, though, a part of the reason she want to be a white woman is because black men love white women too.
Stop that. Yeah, this nigga. Dude, I mean, all right, now, he done made some pseudo-ass stat. 93% of, he said 93% of, okay. He said 93%. Oh, this guy is hilarious. He said 93% of black women date within their race, right? That's what he said. Some fake ass pseudo stat. Hold on 1 second. All right, so he done made up some fake ass stat that 93% of black people want to black women dates married within their race, which is a lie. All right, well, Cap, how many black men, like what's the number of black men dating within their race? Are you trying to convince me that there's a huge gap? Because whatever the number is for black women dating within their race, I guarantee you black men number ain't too far from theirs. I guarantee you. So when he say black men love white women, it's like, dude, where are these numbers? Now we gotta go to that little poll, the ISBK poll, and rely on that shit. Like, dude is tripping.
Not true.
Cap.
Even when we get money, we still marry black women over white women, and we have an opportunity when we got money.
So now the percentage
with them.
Now remember, 93% of black women got a black husband, so that's 7.
Right.
So there is it's a higher percentage of black men marrying black women. That's true. But now let's go back to the propaganda that's pushed. The propaganda that's pushed on the media, just like the propaganda that's pushed on the social media and on the
like that propaganda you just pushed saying that black men love white women.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
Propaganda, bro. Most black men you know is with a black woman. Most black men you know be lusting after black women online. We don't be lusting after white women.
But I'm saying it for a reason. I said that to counter you saying about the black woman, and this is why. Because when I pointed out 93%, you didn't focus on the 93, you focused on the 7.
So now this may be true though. This may be true. Black men will date black women until they become successful or in a position where they believe they can like exercise their options, and then they'll go find that non-black woman. I will concede to that. When black men feel like they got some type of bag, yeah, they'll start to go ahead and wander off.
No. I was saying, why do they cheer? I was focusing on the 93%. So a black man with a black son or a black daughter gotta watch his black wife sit and watch TV cheering for this girl talking about they kid got beautiful hair. Why would you say that in front of me and my child with you?
No, now, so I don't really know too many black women. Just like you say, I don't know a lot of black men with white women. I don't know a lot of black women that push that narrative. I don't.
You black women, you know, with weave.
You lying.
That's bone straight.
But now weave is
Bone
just
straight.
You said who? Bone straight.
Bone straight.
So now,
blonde hair.
So now, when it comes to weave, now just for criteria purposes, weave is not my thing, right? But weave is just the hairstyle. The only things when it comes
but he's saying why do they choose? He's saying why do black women choose the bone straight hair texture weave? That's not what we that's not what we look like. You dig? So why that and not the puff or this or the curly? Why the all right, whatever.
to weave is like, or hair period, is when we get to the blonde color. I do believe I don't think that.
Yeah, but you in the Bible, so you know a little leaven is the whole lump. So once you even start going straight, yeah, you're going straight black. You're gonna go straight brown. You're gonna go straight red, sexy red. Then you're gonna go right to the goddamn blonde. It's coming.
A woman getting a weave or a wig, that's a different style.
But guess what? I'm desensitized to it now, to the weave and blonde hair. I don't care no more. It's like, all right, whatever.
I don't really look at that bad.
And some black women actually look good with the blonde, not the weave, but they dye their hair blonde or wear like a blonde wig. Some of them actually look all right.
Because white people aren't the only people that have different textures of hair. So I don't really look at that bad. I do look at blonde hair though. I do look at
red and pink. You'd rather walk around looking like a troll doll than a regular black chick. And when it comes to when your hair ain't done, right, you'd rather put on a bag on your head and walk out in public than let the world see your actual hair.
I want you to see something, Tommy. I want you to see something within yourself. And I don't know if this is just from personal experience or not. When I try to make it even about black men and black women and what we do wrong and correct them, you abandon the niggas.
Because I told you I don't believe it's even, so I won't do it. Remember, we're supposed to be on opposing sides. If I already told you I don't think it's even, why would I not try
you
to
said that you said that blacks are, see, I think that all of this shit is the white man's fault.
Oh shit.
You think it's our
so hold on. So black men drilling each other, that's the white man's fault. Black men selling drugs to each other, black men with the lyrics, the abuse of women, the R. Kellys and Puppies, that's the white man's fault. And the hoes like Sexy Red, that's the white man's fault. See, it goes back to no accountability. And when you can't be held accountable, now I gotta be fair, because I'm a heavy critic on women that don't like to be held accountable. I'm like, yo, y'all coming off as like y'all less than men, like y'all unequal, y'all below men. You can't be held accountable. That means that signals you're below men. You know, like you're almost in like an adolescent's place, a child's place, teenage, place. So when a race of people can't be held accountable, that's low key saying the same thing. They're saying black folks, if they can't be held accountable, you're saying we're less than our, white folks and everybody else that's held accountable. We're like stuck in our adolescence, at our adolescent years, like perpetually, forever. Like we can't grow out of it. And that's how it comes off to me. So when you can't be held accountable, what rings loud to me is that you're saying that this person is like more closer to a child than an adult.
I told you the women, when they got taken over by the Germans, they could have left their Jew men or they could have left without their material possessions.
When our women was getting
They left
raped by
without their
white
material
men,
possessions.
they still stayed with their black man, and the black
They
man
had nowhere else to go. White men have never offered to let black women come and displace their women ever.
But that's the
You ain't missed too much, Love Jerk. I was waiting on you. I'm waiting on you. I'm gonna get back to R. Kelly.
point, though.
Name a group that's offered to displace their women for black.
Love Joy, did you find that website where I can look at R. Kelly, the evidence that you claim that's out there? Not some ninja woman talking about her opinion. Give me what I can read. Give or at least some professionals talking about it. Some, like, people in the field, at least some lawyers. You dig? That's what I want. But I would rather be able to read something where the evidence is there, because it looks like it's circumstantial evidence and it's really just accusations. It's like really no evidence, because they say photography, but that was dismissed in 2002, 2004. So I don't know what other photography that you can have, or pornography, whatever they got. I'm still waiting for that.
Black women, name one.
They shouldn't, but I don't think they should. That's
no, I just said it. So then you can't say they stayed with us. The point of the story I told you was those men wanted to keep those women.
Right.
They thought that if they told them you can't take your possessions, that those women would be materialistic and stay.
But the point,
those women said you can keep it.
Got you. But whereas those women got a choice, there was never a choice given to black men or
black women did have a choice. You just said it. You said they gave black women a choice to kick the man out. And
no. But that's okay. But you're jumping the part of history that I'm not talking about yet. I'm not talking. You're right about that in the 70s, but I'm not. I'm talking about during the time of slavery, up until integration is the timeline that I'm talking about.
You said that we stayed married in a greater rate than them during the time of Jim Crow and during the time of segregation. You said this.
And
so we don't have to go back to slavery.
No,
we gotta go
sorry. If you just take
the numbers, what destroyed the numbers of we?
Hey, yo, why are people going crazy over Putin showing a black Jesus? See, here's the thing. See, now this is why black people might be slow. Until we could root them out and repopulate black people with just us, the normal people. There's gonna be a huge weight, a lot of luggage to carry around. Like these dudes are really just baggage. You dig? So people tripping off Putin. I ain't even see. I'm just hearing report. I'm just seeing YouTube channels. Oh, Putin did something black Jesus. Wait a minute. So Putin just could show a black. I mean, like, so here we go back with making a white guy your daddy again. So wait a minute. But black people. So one white guy does something. He represents all white people. But Captain is mentioning coons, sellouts. So Putin could be seen as a sellout in the white world, right? So if a black guy, let's say Tommy Sotomayor, he paints the picture that blacks, majority are thugs and criminals and need to be in prison. He's black. So white folks can say, see, look, Tommy said it. Tommy showed it. But you guys will say, all right, Tommy ain't nobody. But then you'll go and say, Putin did it. And white folks can say, hey, he ain't nobody. It's like, yo, we got to stop showing like this retardation, man. It's getting scary. It's getting spooky.
Stayed together at a higher rate than anyone else in the United States.
What destroyed those numbers?
What destroyed it?
What destroyed those numbers was civil rights leaders that wanted to integrate. So now you have to start with the black. So Martin Luther King's dream.
You said the feminist movement.
No, well, at that time,
if we had stayed with the civil rights movement, the civil rights was still for blacks to stay together.
Hell,
the feminist movement was for blacks.
Till integration is the timeline that I'm talking about.
You said that we stayed married in a greater rate than them during the time of Jim Crow and during the time of segregation. You
Right.
said this.
And
so we don't have
those
to go back to slavery.
No,
We
no,
gotta
I'm
go to
sorry. If you just take
what destroyed the numbers,
If
what
you-
destroyed the numbers of we stayed together at a higher rate than anyone else in the United
what
States.
destroyed
and
those
then it
numbers,
failed.
I'll
What
tell you.
destroyed it?
What destroyed those numbers was civil rights leaders that wanted to integrate. So now you have to start with the black. So Martin Luther King's dream.
You said the feminist movement.
No, I'm too. Well, at that time,
If we had stayed with the civil rights movement, the civil rights was still for blacks to stay together.
Hell
the
no.
feminist movement was for blacks to separate.
Right.
And you quoted the young lady by the name of Shahrazad Ali, who
Right.
also
Who
did it.
also
So
did
you
the same
cannot
thing.
now reverse field and say it was civil rights, because civil
I said
rights
two
still had
things.
us together.
Before I didn't say civil rights
was
first, but I did say two things. I said the drug epidemic and the feminist movement was the two things in the 70s that separated the black man and black woman. That's what I said initially.
Damn.
Because they flooded us with drugs. That's when the Nixon era and the Reaganomics era came and did that. The reason why I highlighted civil rights, because you said that the family was together, and what separated or marked the separation of this family being separated was integration, which was led by the civil rights movement. That's the only reason I brought up the civil rights movement right then. But as far as what separated the black man and the black woman was drugs and the feminist movement. That's what I said initially. But my initial point was there was never anything that they gave a black man or black woman to be separate from each other, ever. We've never had that opportunity. It's always just been us. So the only thing that can fix us is us. We don't need a white handout. We don't need an Asian handout. We don't need no handout. But we do have to have compassion on each other. We have to stop the barking. We like two pit bulls in a goddamn cage fighting each other, and the white man owned both pit bulls, and he the only one that gets rich. So whether the black woman does more, if the black woman pit bull dominates the black pit bull, the white man still gets the prize. If the black pit bull dominates the black woman pit bull, the white man still gets the prize. How about we just don't fight each other? If we didn't fight each other.
Hold on, I get it, and I've offered to do that, but like you said, with correction.
Okay, give me that. Give me your offering. Give me like your correction for
no.
Like,
I told him, I said, let me tell you something. As a psychologist, one of the things you need to do if I'm sitting down and I'm talking to a couple, a married couple,
right?
What I would tell you is this: here's what's going to happen. I'm going to allow this man to tell you everything that he does not like or that makes him uncomfortable or the reason why he's here. And what you're going to do is have to listen. Then I'm going to allow you to do the same thing. Then after that, I'm going to talk to you both individually. Then I'm going to bring you back, and what we're going to talk about is a solution to a perceived problem, a solution to a real problem. And we're going to talk on that scale. And you know who typically has the want to do it and who has the want to argue it?
Who?
The men. Because most men literally just want to be heard.
Right.
And the women have already been heard. They want to control. They don't want someone else. That's why if you notice when you're in a relationship with a woman and you typically say, let's go get outside help, who's the first one to say we don't need it? Let's go talk to your mama about what we arguing about. Hell, let's talk to my mama. Let's talk to my daddy. Let's talk to my brother. And they will say no. And as a matter of fact, they'll make it seem like you weak for trying to get somebody else's opinion, because they want to be able to say what they say to you and not have the public or anybody else see how they speak or how they treat you. I was on a show today with a black woman from England. That black woman came on and she was supposed to be respectful because the gay man up there couldn't beat me by himself. So he brought that woman up there. I said, go ahead. The guy said, you sure you want to talk to two of them? I said, I'll talk to any of them. When she knows, the first thing she asked me, how old are you? Are you with a woman? She asked me all these personal questions. Did I get mad? I answered them. And I knew exactly what she was trying to do. She was trying to use an excuse of, oh, that's why you say that, or that's why you do that. But I answered all her questions. Then the thing I said, ma'am, let me ask you, how old are you? How old is your child? Did you have it out of wedlock? I don't have to answer that. I said, see how you did that, ma'am? I don't know you, but you wanted to ask me personal questions to gauge where I was. Yet when I tried to do the same thing to you, this is what you did. As a matter of fact, when we have conversations with women, they'll say you got a little dick, ain't had no pussy, which is weird from a group of people who want you to be faithful. How are you going to measure my manhood by how much pussy I get? Then get mad when I'm trying to go out and get as much pussy as I can. Last I checked, when I watched Pac-Man, this nigga got measured by how many motherfucking pellets he could eat. So he was trying to eat as many pellets as he could. So if I'm getting measured by how much pussy I get, hearing that from a queen speaking like that, calling each other bro, yeah, I'm going to say that there's a problem here. One of them feels like they're entitled. And when they're entitled, they talk to you any kind of damn way. Like what happened up there in New York when those two twin girls ended up getting stabbed and they sit up there and said, oh, it's because a man asked for their phone number. And when he said no, he stabbed them. I said to a woman, I said, first off, if a guy's drunk and irate, why wouldn't you walk off? Why would you argue with a drunk and irate person? Do you know what this woman said? You got a little dick and probably beat women. What the fuck does that have to do with what I said was common sense as a female? Why are you constantly trying to argue with niggas? I've been up in New York. I've watched them bitches try to sit up there and talk shit to the nigga. I know you ain't tried to get my number with your ugly ass and them shoes. And then you get mad when a nigga that you raised to be emotional because he didn't have no daddy. So you raised him that way. He acts that way. Well, the video came out and it showed. Them black girls didn't just get asked for their number, and it was 2 o'clock in the fucking morning. Why were they out there anyway? But at the bodega, guess who almost got killed? Their brother, because their brother was trying to protect them. And guess who wouldn't leave? Them. They kept arguing with the man, arguing with him until he finally stabbed them. Now, who does that? But if I say that, I'm an abuser instead of someone that's trying to protect you. But I got daughters. And you know what I tell my daughters? Don't try to fight men. They're stronger than you and they're faster than you and they're more athletic. Smile. Walk off. You know, most of the time when I try to talk to white women or you try to talk to white women or anybody try to talk to white women, just say hello to them. You know what they are? Pretty fucking friendly. You know why?
You say white women?
Yes. I'm in the South. Maybe they ain't like that up in New York. I'm in the South. In the South. I remember when I was in college, I would try to talk to a white girl. Like, let a nigga talk to you. You know, can I get your phone number?
White women out there, Tommy?
Yeah, man. I used to only play in the snow. You know why? Because when I was little, I was told I was too black to date. Nobody wanted to have kids as black as I am.
So you abandoned a black woman for a time?
What do you mean abandoned them? No, my kids are black. My point is, when I was a kid,
I said for a time. I didn't say you abandoned. I said
they abandoned. You said I abandoned them
for a time. Like for a time. Like let's say for a time.
No, but I can't abandon them if they didn't want me. We never say that about black women who tell you I'm only with a white man because the black man didn't want me.
I do. Listen. One thing
you can't abandon something that doesn't want you. You can't abandon it.
You met the right one. That's a blessing. Listen, a woman don't want you.
I'm not gonna spend my damn life. When y'all say that kind of stuff, you encourage black women to mistreat black men. When you say you're abandoning them and you ain't found the right one, it shouldn't be damn hard.
Black women, it is.
Hold on, but it shouldn't be that damn hard. Come on now. By that logic, you know how many white people it is? So no matter how many white people treat you bad, look for the good one.
Hell no. I don't trust no white people like that.
Get that in the background. He know your man is laughing. He know I'm telling the truth. If you're going to tell me to go through that shit with black women, then you should go through that shit with whites.
Hell no.
Because then I ain't going through it with them. We need to teach them. Wait a minute. You said we need to teach them to not be as difficult with each other. It shouldn't be that damn hard. I don't know if you've ever seen the Quentin Tarantino movie, The Hateful Eight, when my man Warren, who played by Sam Jackson,
right?
When the other guy said, "You mean to tell me you don't bring them in with the handcuffs on?" He said, "No, I'd rather shoot them. I'd rather have them be dead, and I can bring them in and still get the reward money." He said, it shouldn't be that easy. He said it shouldn't be that hard either. I don't want to work that damn hard to get my paycheck. We should not have to work that damn hard to be with each other. That's the whole point of what you said about Jews. Jew men don't have to sit up there and go through all that fucking embarrassment just to find one Jewish woman. That's insane. And too many black men have had the story of being insulted by black women for just finding them attractive.
What I always say, and I want to respond to some of the things you said, but what I always say is that the black man has been beaten down to powder. Like the black man is the one species on the planet Earth that you can't dog him enough. And
I like your homeboy. He need to be just always in the back. I like this nigga. I do.
But
He all right with me.
like you can beat them, like you can beat the black man down into powder, and
Come on,
it's all good. It doesn't matter. You can vilify him. It doesn't matter if it's the black woman doing it, the white woman, the Asians. Like I remember what you said about Kobe. I remember when Kobe died.
Oh my God, Lovejoy. Lovejoy. It's me. Okay. Give me. I mean, I will settle. I will settle for your news article. I will settle for it. It look like you're just Googling shit. I would, but that's not really research. Okay. That's why I say it's me. Like, yeah, y'all gotta tap in more often so we can go over like how to research credible shit. You have conservative paper, you got conservative media, you got liberal media, right? What the hell? What just happened? Is he?
And I think it was Gail that was still trying to bring up the so-called Rachel.
Yes.
Right. So I totally get that, but I wanted to touch on something you said. You said something about the counseling part, and this is where I have to talk about my school again because I counsel, so I have to study and read a lot of psychological books and stuff like that to do the counseling. So I get exactly what you talk about. I would have to disagree with you that women don't want counsel because I counsel a lot of them. But what I also would say is that within that counsel, you actually fix them.
Okay.
Like we fixed a lot of marriages.
So media.
We fixed a lot of women.
Media. Fox News is biased as shit against like liberal stuff and oh my God. Yeah, I look. Yeah, this is not me. That is not me. Okay. My I spilled a little bit of coffee on it, and it's wilding out right now. It is wilding out. It's like searching by itself. It is going literally bananas. Oh, I got to see this shit right here. Oh, what, yo? It's almost like somebody's controlling my shit. My mouse is moving by itself. I spilled a little bit of coffee on my. This shit is going crazy right now. Yeah, it's I don't know, man. Hopefully it ain't like damaged. But it is going nuts right now. It's like somebody's controlling it. Like tabs popping up. Yo, shit just popping up, shit just loading. It's shit crazy, yo. And I can't control it. Yo, look at this shit. It's going nuts. All right. Yeah, I think I gotta reboot this shit. I mean, it's playing stuff automatically. It like really feels like somebody's controlling my laptop. Look at this crazy shit. Oh my God. Lovejoy, what? Let me click your link. Let me kick your ass real fast. Yo, my computer is bugging out. Okay, R. Kelly trial in Chicago. What to know about his conviction? Yo, if this, I mean, I can't watch this. It's telling me to subscribe. Come on, and I know you ain't watch this. I know you ain't read this article. Cause I know you're not a subscriber to this shit. It wants me to subscribe to New York Times. I'm not doing to be trolled with spam and stuff. Give me an article I can read without joining some mailing list, please. Hey, yo, y'all gotta see this talent show. Man, this is hilarious. Hold on. Oh, my God. Why ain't like a nigga I play basketball with? Like, y'all niggas a rapper, dude. Everybody wants to be a rapper. This shit is, yeah, this field is, yeah, this shit is so saturated, man. That's why nobody can be successful.
Dripping this water, I'm fresh out the pool. Life is a movie. Hold up. That joint was fire. Big shout out to Maryland in the building. We still having our high-level conversation tonight. We still having our high-level
DJ Focus there, he a judge.
conversation tonight, but we live
Talent show, yo.
from the Taste Smoker.
Muting it and the computer's unmuting itself. This is crazy. All right, let's get to the next act. Next act is hilarious. Look at this.
Arcane coming up next.
It's pausing itself.
He said he was ready to go.
Arcane in the building.
They say y'all ready. You ready? Arcane, what are we talking about? All right, you got your mic on? All right.
Yo, this is not comedy. This is a real artist that's going to rap.
Here we go. EBT Josh, let's get into it.
Yep, it's pausing by itself. Yo, who was his producer? Yo, they set him up. Yo.
I just messed with the mic. He just put his mic up.
You're like, seriously, like, what is this dude rapping about? This is disrespect and bullshit. Yeah, part of a group. So, I think this ID is ghostwriter too. Crap.
We still going live at 9 o'clock for a high-level conversation, but we here early. We here early for this dope event. I know y'all probably can't hear the artists, but y'all can hear us judging. We going live. We got the panelists on the way. We going live from the Taste Smokers tonight.
My laptop is self-sabotaging. You see the name popped up? Told you, I'm not lying. This is part of his rap duo guy, collabo guy. They're the Yin Yang twins, like the new ones. This guy right here, look who name popped up. Indigenous black man. And this is indigenous white man. Right here. Nobody can hear that guy. Nobody can hear that guy. Nah, that's not. But you can't. Lovejoy, you can't read the article if you're not subscribed to it. If you click the link yourself, you're gonna see it pop up. The article. Once you try to read it, it's gonna make you subscribe to it. It's not gonna let you read it. Yeah, my computer's like crazy. Yeah, but who was the minor? Lovejoy. Like that's the thing. Like there's no minor. And if you're saying it's on the video, nobody can prove that he was in the video. All right, I gotta restart this. This computer bugging out. All right, I'll try to be back a little later, like an hour. But this thing is it's really doing what I want to do right now. I feel a little coffee in it. It's going crazy. I restarted. Probably won't even cut back on.